Hi, got a nice little practice here for working on your hips, legs and glutes. So for any of you out there who are runners, cyclists, or for anyone who just wants to improve the strength and flexibility in that lower body, it's good for all of us, no matter what you do, making sure we have that flexibility and strength. So not just the flexibility, we want the strength too. The strength is just as important as being able to increase that mobility. So let's just get straight into it. We're going to start lying down. Always nice to hear, right? So coming to lying on your mat, we're going to start with a pose called Uttanasana. So we'll start with knees bent, feet on the mat. You're just going to draw the right knee in. So clasping around that right knee, hugging the right thigh down towards you. So as we're here, gently easing into this pose, we'll tune into the body and tune into the breath. So noticing how that breath is flowing through the body. Maybe you can feel your belly rising and falling against the right thigh. And just check in with your mind. How are you feeling within yourself? There's no right or wrong. Everybody feels different on different days, at different times of the day. How we feel physically can affect how we feel mentally. And how we feel mentally can affect how we feel physically. It's all interlinked. So no judgment, just checking in with how you are in this present moment. So if we're feeling okay, you can think about sending that left leg away from you along the mat. Just notice how that changes this stretch. Maybe you want to give that right ankle a bit of a circle one way. And then the other way. Fantastic. So if you have a strap, grabbing a hold of a strap or maybe a scarf, a sock, anything you've got that you can just hook around that right foot. And we're again going to bend that right knee deeply, so drawing that right thigh down towards you. And then see if you can start to lift the right foot. So as soon as you feel like that right thigh wants to start lifting away from the body, that's as far as you want to go. So we're keeping that right thigh tucked in. You'll probably find you still have a really deep bend in the knee, unless you have super flexible hamstrings and you can get your foot right the way back. I most certainly can't. Maybe you've got a really deep bend in the knee. That's okay, but just thinking about working towards opening out through the back of that knee. Maybe now that we've started doing this, you want to rebend the left leg and have the foot on the mat. That's then option 2. And just breathing into it. Notice if a little competitive bit of your brain has kicked in and said, normally I can get my leg a little bit further than this, or normally my thigh is a little bit closer into the body. It's not wrong. It's not wrong to have those little competitive thoughts with yourself sometimes. But then just remind yourself that at each point in the day, and on each day our body feels different. So maybe today, this is where your body wants to be. That doesn't mean that this is where it wants to be tomorrow or in a few hours. Just roll with what is going on right now. Great. So we're then going to see if we can straighten through that right leg. So sending the right foot up towards the ceiling. Again, that straps in either hand, shoulders down on the mat. Keeping that right foot flexed, we're going to see if we can draw that leg a little bit in towards us until you can feel a good stretch all the way up the back of that leg. So it should feel quite different from when we had the knee deeply bent. We're working into a slightly different part of the leg. Make sure you're not locking the knee out. So keep a little bend in the knee. So we're really working into the muscles and not just into the joints and that bit where the muscles join into the bones and tendons and whatnot. Keep that little bend in the knee so we're really working into the belly of the muscle. And how's your breath doing? Can you tune into that breath again? Slow it down. Where are you holding tension in the rest of the body? Can you relax the shoulders down a bit more? Try not to grip onto the strap or scarf or whatever you're using. We'll take one more breath here. Great, and then bend that knee. Release the strap. Give that knee another little hug in. Give the ankle a bit of a circle again. Wriggle the toes. Wonderful. And then stretch that right leg away. And just let the feet roll out for a moment. Notice the difference between the two sides of the body. I'm going to take a little bet here that one leg currently feels longer than the other. When you feel ready, we will bend both knees again, feet on the mat. And we're going to draw the left knee in. So clasping around that left knee. Hug the left thigh down towards you. Taking this opportunity to tune into the breath, tune into the body again. Maybe the mind has started wandering. Maybe you're thinking, oh, I want to get up, I want to get moving. Why am I just lying here? Well, we are waking those muscles up. Sometimes moving slowly can be even harder than that active, moving, what's the word I want? Moving quickly. I'll think of the word at some point in a few hours when it's not important anymore. If you want to, stretch the right leg away. Try and keep that right leg engaged, so toes up towards the ceiling. Great. You can always give that left ankle a bit of a circle one way, and then back the other way. Fab. Taking hold of that strap or scarf or sock again. Taking it around the ball of that left foot. So again, the left thigh is tucked in towards the body. Nice deep bend in the knee. And then you're lifting that left left foot until you feel like the left thigh wants to start lifting away, and that's as far as you want to go. Remember, try not to hold tension in the rest of the body. Maybe there's a bit of shaking in the left leg. That's okay. We're just asking the left leg to do something it's not necessarily used to doing that regularly, or maybe your legs are a little bit tired. I know I went on a big run yesterday, so my legs are having a little complaint at me right now. Just try and breathe into it. Ease off if you need to. Fantastic. Then we're going to straighten through that left leg. So foot up towards the ceiling. Again, keep that strap in either hand. And using the strap to draw the leg in. So maybe this side is a little bit tighter than the right side. Maybe you want to have that right knee bent, foot on the mat. Remember, there is nothing wrong with it, nothing wrong with adjusting a pose, nothing wrong with easing out a little bit. Just find the way that it's most beneficial for you today. Great, we'll take one more breath here. Lovely, and then bend that knee, release the strap. Give the knee a little hug in. Give the ankle a good circle. Great. And then pop that left foot down on the mat. So right knee bent, foot on the mat. So we've got both knees bent. I'm going to have the arms down by the sides, palms facing down. And you're just going to draw the right knee in. Send that right foot up towards the ceiling. And then with a nice slow exhale, we'll lower that right leg down towards the mat. Nice and steady, control the movement. So think about drawing that belly button in, so pressing the lower back down onto the mat. Great. We'll hover that heel just above the mat. Trying to keep the breath nice and steady. And then with an inhale, draw that right knee in again. Send the foot up towards the ceiling. And the exhale, nice and steady, lowering the leg down towards the mat. So notice if your lower back starts to arch off the mat. Maybe the pelvis is tilting, lower back is lifting. Really think about tilting that pelvis back. Press the lower back into the mat. Use those abdominal muscles. Nice breath here as we hover the foot just above the mat. And then once more, we'll draw that knee in. Send the foot up towards the ceiling. Exhale, nice and steady, lowering down. Think about really pushing through the heel, lengthen through that right leg. Hovering just above the mat, nice steady breath. Wonderful, draw that right knee in. Give it a nice little hug in. And then popping that right foot down, and we'll go onto the left side straight away. So draw the left knee in. Send the foot up towards the ceiling. Nice and steady, lowering down. Again, try not to hold tension in the rest of the body. So even though we're keeping that torso controlled and the abdominals engaged, try not to hold everything tight. Sukha, ease. Hovering the heel. And then inhale, draw the knee in. Send the foot up towards the ceiling. Exhale, nice and steady, lowering down. Control that movement, try not to rush. Maybe the breath is sped up. Can you slow that breath down again? Which one's following which? Is the body following the breath, or is the breath following the body? Draw that knee in. Last one. Well done. Bring that left knee in. Give it a nice little hug in. And then popping that foot down. So any lower back problems, do another round with alternate legs. Otherwise, we're going to do 3 with both legs at the same time. So sending both feet up towards the ceiling. You can always pop the hands underneath the hips to help tilt that pelvis back, or you can have hands down by the sides again, whichever's best. So with an exhale, we're slowly lowering down. Now if you feel like as you lower, that lower back is really wanting to arch up, have a little bend in the knees. So the legs don't have to be completely straight, but try and control that movement. Draw those abdominal muscles in, hovering the feet. And then hug the knees in. Great. When you're ready, send the feet up towards the ceiling. Exhale, slowly lower. Hovering the feet. Inhale, draw the knees in. Fantastic. Last time. Wonderful work. Draw those knees in. Give them a good hug in. Lovely. Hopefully you're starting to feel nice and warm. Getting everything activated and engaged. So we're going to pop the feet down, ready for bridge. So using those thigh muscles, using the glutes, working on those legs. So feet to hip distance apart, heels up as close towards you as is comfortable. Arms down by the sides, palms facing down. When you're ready, with an inhale, you're going to tilt the pelvis back, press the back of the waist into the mat, and then push into the feet, lifting the hips up towards the ceiling. Think about drawing the shoulder blades together behind you. So we're really trying to lift, use those glutes, press through the feet evenly. And then the exhale, nice and steady, lowering all the way back down. Fantastic. Have a little rest down. Check in with your breath again, check in with your body. Maybe you need to wriggle the feet around. Maybe they're not quite in the right place for you for bridge. So readjust as much as you need to. And then again, when you're ready, with the inhale, tilt the pelvis. Engage the core muscles, engage the glutes. Press through the feet, rolling up, lifting the hips. Open up through the chest. From here, we're going to see if we can just take the weight into the left foot. send that right foot up towards the ceiling. With an exhale, like we just did with the hips down, you're going to see if you can lower that right foot down. Inhale, bend the knee in, pop that foot back down. Fantastic. Weight into the right foot. Send the left foot up towards the ceiling. Exhale, nice and steady, lowering that leg down towards the mat. Try and keep the hips lifted. Lovely. Bend the knee, pop the foot on the mat. Can we do it once more on either side? Lift those hips up. Send the right foot up towards the ceiling. You're doing great. Exhale, nice and steady, lowering down. Bend the knee in, pop the foot down. Last one. Left foot goes up. Exhale, nice and steady, lowering down. Inhale, bend the knee in, pop the foot down. One more breath here in bridge. Well done. And really steady, don't rush. Rolling down through the spine, lowering the hips back down onto the mat. Once you're there, draw both knees in. Give them a good hug in. Give the spine a bit of a rock. Fantastic. So then we're going to rock ourselves all the way up to sitting. Lovely work. Spin those feet straight round. Coming into ancestral worship. So sitting back onto the heels. Reach the arms out in front of you, elbows lifted. Forehead down on the mat if that's comfortable. Again, settling the body, settling the breath. And then with an inhale, we're going to bring the weight forwards. Coming onto the hands. We'll tuck the toes. Lift the knees, send the hips up and back, finding downward facing dog. So take a moment, give the heels a bit of a walk, shake the head, nod the head, wriggle around. Maybe drop the knees in towards the center line, get the hips moving. Rearrange your clothing because it's wriggling up. Fantastic. So from here, if you feel steady, we're going to take the weight into the left foot and float that right leg up into the air. Try and keep the hips level, really press through that foot. And then we'll bend the right knee, send that right foot over to the left, lifting the right hip, lifting the right knee, opening up through that right hip. Lovely. Inhale, bring yourself back towards center. Squeeze that right knee in, bring the weight forwards, coming towards a plank with that right knee squeezed in, and then step the foot forward. So maybe you need to wriggle that right foot forwards. Maybe you want to pop the knees down and step forward, take a few steps, whatever is best for you. So we're coming here into a high lunge. So our back knee is lifted. We want a bit of a gap between the feet, so you're not all on one straight line or you'll feel wobbly. Front knee over front ankle. Now stay like this. This might be better for you. Or you can see if you can draw yourself up, bringing yourself up to that high lunge. So really try and push through the back heel. Use that back leg. Nice steady breath. Maybe you need to rearrange a little bit. Have a little wriggle around. So stay in this lunge. Or we're really going to get all those muscles firing. We're going to see if really slowly you can lower that back knee down towards the mat. Inhale, bringing yourself back up, press through that heel. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, coming up. Can your thighs feel it? And then once more. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, coming up. Fantastic. Sweep the arms down, hands framing that front foot. And we'll step back, downward facing dog. Lovely. So settle into your down dog again. Maybe give the heels a bit of a walk. Give the hips a little wriggle. Fantastic. And again, only if you feel steady, weight into the right foot. Float that left leg up into the air. Hips nice and level. Press through that left heel. And then bending the knee. Send that left foot over to the right, lifting through the hip. Lifting the knee, open up through that left hip. And then bringing yourself back round, draw the weight forwards towards plank. Hug that left knee in. And then see if you can step it forwards. Again, wriggle the feet forward, help it forward with that left hand, however is best for you. Make sure you still got that gap between the feet. Really push through that back heel. Stay with the hands down. Or see if you can bring yourself all the way up. Nice high lunge. Maybe it's not comfortable having the arms lifted. Maybe you want to have them on the hips. Then go with hands on hips instead. Maybe hands in prayer in front of the heart. Find what feels best for you. So we're staying here or lowering that back knee down towards the mat. Inhale, coming back up, press through that heel. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press through the heel. Once more, exhale. And inhale. Fantastic. Hands coming down to frame that front foot. Stepping back, down dog. And give the heels a good walk. You're doing wonderful. Lovely. So again, we're going to float that right leg up into the air. And this time you're just going to bend the knee, draw that leg forward, and we're coming into pigeon pose on the right. So maybe pigeon isn't right for you, maybe bad knee, bad hip, whatever it is. You can always have the front knee and ankle in a nice straight line and come into it like this. If it's completely wrong, come to lying on your back, holding onto that foot, drawing that knee in towards you, or having the opposite leg bent and easing the knee out that way. But if pigeon is okay for you, we've got the right leg forward. You can always sit on a block or a blanket to help bring the hips nice and level. Sitting up nice and tall. Check in with the back leg, make sure it's going in a nice straight line and it's not wandered off to the side. Then we're going to walk the hands forward, resting over that right leg. Now with pigeon, what we're working towards is that front shin being in line with the front of the mat. Now, as I say, I went on a big run. My hips are feeling very tight. So don't worry if that's not what it looks like for you. It certainly doesn't look like that for me today, or lots of days actually. So it's more important to have that front heel tucked in and your hips level. So instead of pushing that front leg towards parallel to the front of the mat, keep the front heel tucked in, have the hips level. You know, if you've ended up with the front knee parallel, but you're easing off back to that side and your weight is all in the right hip, then you're not going to be getting the stretch where you need it to be. So bring the heel in instead, have the hips nice and level, and then you can fold over the leg. Maybe you can't fold straight forward, maybe you want to have your forehead on your hands. Just find what feels best for you. So we'll take one more breath here. And then walk the hands back up towards you. We'll tuck those back toes, lift the back knee, and step back for downward facing dog. Fantastic. Taking a few breaths here in down dog. Maybe checking in again with how the body feels. That right leg maybe feels a bit different from the left leg. And then when you feel ready, we will send that left leg up into the air. With an inhale, draw that left knee in, bringing it forward, ready for pigeon. Remember again, you can be lying on your back. You can use blocks, you can use blankets, use whatever padding you need to. Check in with the back leg, make sure it's going in a straight line. And then folding over that left leg. Really think about releasing into the pose. This is a big hip opener. In yoga, we say that the hips hold our deep-seated emotions. So maybe this even makes you feel a little bit emotional. That is also okay. The yoga mat is a great place to feel emotional. Let all the emotions out. When we come to our yoga mat, we're not only transforming our body, but we're also transforming our inner being. So whatever that means for you, it doesn't have to be super spiritual, it doesn't have to be spiritual at all, but we all have an inner being. So as we spend time on our mat, hopefully everything starts to transform. Inside and outside. So we'll take one more breath. And then walk those hands back up towards you. Tuck the back toes, lift that back knee, stepping back, down dog. Taking 3 nice steady breaths here. Lovely. We'll do a quick twist, so right hand coming towards the left side of the mat or onto the left leg and looking underneath that left arm. Great, right hand coming back to the mat. Reaching the left hand towards the right side of the mat or onto the right leg, looking underneath the right arm. Fantastic. Bring that left hand back. Pop the knees down, sitting back onto the heels. Forehead either rests on the hands or forehead on the mat, hands down by the sides, coming into child's pose. Balasana. And just really focus in on that sensation of the belly rising and falling against the thighs. Slowing the breath down. Feeling the body settle into the mat. Feeling that connection of the body to the ground. So when you feel ready, start to roll up through the spine, bringing yourself all the way up to kneeling, giving the shoulders a nice roll back. Lovely. Well, thank you for joining me in this practice. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon. Om Shanti.